Let's start the monthly time frame, and that's because a new month candle just opened. So we need to start with the monthly time frame. Looking at USD index chart, you would see that US dollar is still very strong. It's still bullish. Can you see that? Last month's candle closed strongly bullish. Can you see that? So USD is still very strong. What that means is that on currency pairs that you have USD as counter, you expect those pairs to be bearish. And the pairs you have USD as base, you expect those pairs to be bullish because USD is still strong. Now, what is my expectation on DXY? It is likely they will push price to these previous highs. This is equal high and relative equal high. So I think this is the target. They are likely going to push price up to this equal high or this relative equal high. So that's my expectation on DXY. At the moment, USD is bullish. It is still bullish. So let's go back to MT4. So the first currency we'll be looking at is Australian dollar. Let's start with Australian dollar USD. So let's start with the monthly time frame. You can see last month's candle closed bearish and it closed below the support, the previous support level. This support level has become a resistance. Okay. This support level has become what? A resistance. So last month's candle broke out from this support. It tested this next support and there was a rejection from that support. Now the question now is, would this support hold? That's the question. Would this support hold? Let's go down to weekly. So you see what we had on weekly. The previous week we had a spanning bottom, which indicates change in trend from bearish to bullish, right? So last week you would see that Australian dollar USD was bullish last week. Now, when you're trading candlestick formation like doji, you are expected to wait for the next candle to close bullish before you execute a buy trade. So since last week candle closed bullish, it indicates that the trend has changed from bearish to bullish, because last week candle closed bullish after a doji. So if we go by the weekly price action, Australian dollar USD is bullish. So there's a probability that this support, now this is support on the monthly time frame. On the weekly time frame, This will be our support. This is the weekly support, and this is the monthly support. So at the moment, Australian dollar USD is bullish. But if this support is broken, we should expect more bearish move on Australian dollar USD. I hope you're following. If this support is broken, we should expect more bearish move on Australian dollar USD, and this could be the next target. Okay, so like I said, if we go by the weekly, Australian dollar USD is bullish. So the question now is, at what price should we get in? At what price should we buy? Okay, so let's go to daily. Now on daily, we need to identify the resistance on daily time frame or 4-hour time frame. If a candle breaks above those resistance level, that is when we would consider buying Australian dollar USD. So let's see what we have daily time frame. You can see what we have here. This is an engulfing pattern, which indicates a bearish move, change in trend from bullish to bearish. This is engulfing. You see why you can't just jump in and start buying, because what you have on the daily contradicts what you have on the weekly time frame. So you can't jump in and start selling. It is possible that this daily setup will play out. Price can just continue dropping from the current market price and break the support. And that's why I said you need to identify resistance on daily. So this is our resistance on daily, right? I think this was the monthly resistance. Was it monthly or weekly? Okay, that was the monthly support zone resistance. Monthly support zone resistance. So on daily, what do we have here? So if you are considering buying, you should wait for a candle to close above this supply zone, or you call it your resistance zone. So I will be considering buying on USD above this zone. And if it breaks out from this zone, the first target would be this resistance. If that resistance is broken, it will aim for this next resistance. If this resistance is broken, it will aim for this resistance. Okay, so that's my bias on Australian dollar USD. If a 4-hour candle closes above this zone, I will consider buying. And if a 4-hour candle closes below this zone, I would consider selling Australian dollar USD. And that's because the dollar index is bullish. I hope that is clear. Dollar index is bullish. So if a 4-hour candle closes below this support, I would sell Australian dollar USD. Let's see what we have on 4-hour. So you can see last 4-hour candle broke the support. This is a strong support level. So last 4-hour candle broke out from that support. You would also see what we have here. What is this called? This is a double top. This is a bearish reversal candle pattern. Double top. Okay, so which indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. So daily and 4-hour says Australian dollar USD is bearish. Weekly says Australian dollar USD is bullish. The monthly says Australian dollar USD is bearish because there's a breakout from a support. We can only buy if a candle closes above that support level that has become a resistance. Okay, so daily and 4-hour is what? Bearish. Weekly is bullish. Monthly is neither bullish nor bearish. I hope that is clear. So that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Someone is asking which platform I used in checking the XY. TradingView. TradingView, okay? TradingView is a third-party software that you can use for technical analysis, okay? So you have to download it on your phone or your PC. I hope that is clear. Let's move to the next page. New Zealand USD. As you know, it's supposed to be correlated with Australian dollar USD. So that's what we have on New Zealand USD. You can see that the path we have here is similar to what we have on Australian dollar USD. So we can apply same analysis on New Zealand USD. So let's start with the monthly. So what do we have here? Break of support, which has become a resistance. So the monthly tells us that New Zealand USD is bearish. You can see there was a break from support. And after that break, there was a retest. Can you see it? So at the moment, New Zealand USD is bearish on the monthly time frame. And this could be the next target. This could be the next target. Okay. And let's go down to weekly. What do we have on weekly? See what we have on the weekly. Previous week candle was inverted armbar, which indicates change in trend from bearish to bullish. Okay, but because the body of the inverted armor is bearish, you would have waited for last week candle to close bullish before executing a buy trade. And as you can see, last week candle closed bullish. So what we have on the weekly is a bullish setup. So after the close of last week candle, we had a support here. So if you are considering selling, support must be broken before you sell. This support must be broken before you sell New Zealand USD. So at what price should we buy New Zealand USD? Identify your resistance on daily time frame. So these are resistance on daily. You could also go down to 4-hour. This was the monthly support stone resistance. You could also go down to 4-hour to identify resistance. Okay, you can see on 4-hour, this was the resistance on 4-hour. Okay. So you should wait for a candle to break out from this resistance. But if you calculate the pips, the risk of, okay, let's see, the current market price is 5940. The entry from this is about 74 pip risk. Okay, so can we look for a better entry to reduce our risk on the trade? And you say we had a resistance here. Right, this was a resistance. We also had a support here, which became a resistance. So for aggressive traders, you can execute a buy if a 4-hour candle closes above this resistance. This is a support stone resistance. We also had the resistance stone support here, or support stone resistance. Can you see this? So for aggressive traders, you could execute a buy if 4-hour candle closes above this resistance zone. So this could be your first entry, second entry, third entry. I hope you are following. This could be your first entry, second entry, third entry. Now, you don't want to wait for price to break this support before you execute the sell, because from the current market price to this level is how many pips difference? Okay, it's not much. You can patiently wait for price to break this support, but if you don't want to wait, you can work with this resistance stone support. Work with this level. This could be your first entry for sell. If this support is broken, since DXY is bullish, if this support is broken, you should expect more bearish move on New Zealand USD. I hope you are following. So New Zealand USD stand zone, sell below this support zone. Okay, let's move to the next pair. Here's the card. Let's start with the weekly time frame. Sorry, monthly time frame. You can see what we have on the monthly time frame. Here's the card is bullish. It's bullish. Now, this bullish move is likely this is their target. This bullish move. All they want to do is hunt for the stop losses at this equal high. So this could be their target on New Zealand, USD card. If you go back here, you see that level was a resistance level. Go back here, it was a resistance level, and that level has been tested several times. It is likely they will hit this level before pushing price down. But at the moment, going by the monthly price action, USD card is bullish. It is bullish. They are considering selling. Let's go down to weekly. Let's see what we have on the weekly. Last week, candle closed as should we call this an angry man or a spinning top? Okay, spinning top indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. If you are patient, you should wait for the daily candle to close bearish. If Monday candle closes bearish, then we would expect more bearish move on USD card. If Monday candle closes bearish, but if this resistance zone is broken, we should expect more bullish move on USD card. So if a 4-hour candle closes above this zone, I would consider buying USD card. Okay, and if a 4-hour candle closes below this support, as you can see, what we have here is an engulfing pattern on 4-hour. You can see that it's an engulfing pattern. Okay, so if you are considering selling, you should wait for this support zone to be broken before you sell. That's about 95 pips from the current market price. Personally, I wouldn't wait for price to get to this level before I sell. So let's go down to 4-hour. Let's identify support levels on 4-hour. So we had, this was a resistance on support. And we had a support, resistance on support. So if a candle closes below this support zone, I could consider selling. If a 4-hour candle closes below this zone. So this will be my first entry. This will be my second entry. This is aggressive entry. This is conservative. Okay, this is aggressive, conservative. Okay, so that's my take on USD card. Break below the support, sell, break above resistance, buy USD card. So let's look at GBP USD. Let's start with the monthly. And then you can see we had a shooting star, which indicates change in trend. Okay, but because the shooting star was a bullish shooting star, should have waited for the next month's candle to close bearish, which it did. It closed bearish, which indicates that we have more sellers than buyers. Okay, so at the moment, going by the monthly price action, GBP USD is bearish. So there's a comma here. You can see it tested a support last month, and there was a rejection from that support. There was a rejection from that support. So the question now is, will this support hold? Will this support hold? Let's go down to weekly and see what we have on the weekly time frame. So you can see the weekly time frame closed as a doji. You can see it closed as a doji, indicating change in trend from bearish to bullish. But before we execute a buy trade, we should wait for daily candle to close bullish or weekly candle to close bullish. That is when we can conclude that the trend has changed from bearish to bullish. This doji is not a confirmation that we have more buyers in the market. So it's not a good time to execute buy. We have to wait for either the daily or weekly candle to close bullish before we consider buying. So the monthly is bearish, weekly is bearish because there was a break from a previous resistance on support. You can see last week candle closed below. You can see this was a resistance, on support, resistance, on support, and previous 2 weeks candle closed below this support, indicating that we have more sellers than buyers. And last week candle, you see what played out. It still closed below this support level, which confirms that we have more sellers than buyers. So GBP USD is still bearish. It is still bearish. Let's see what we have on daily. So on daily, we have a support here, which wasn't broken last week. Okay, Friday candle just tested this support, and there was a rejection from that level. So if you are considering selling GBP USD, wait for a 4-hour candle to close below this support zone before you sell. That's my take on GBP USD. Wait for 4-hour candle to close below this support before you sell. And if you are considering buying, wait for a 4-hour candle to close above this resistance level. That's my take on GBP USD. That's what we have on 4-hour. Okay, you can see what we have here. This is an engulfing pattern. Okay, it's an engulfing pattern. Look at 4-hour, you see that GU has been in a range for some time. Okay, it has been in a range. So as you can see, this is a support on 4-hour. And this is also the low of this candle on 4-hour. So if this zone is broken, you can consider selling GBP USD. And if this resistance zone is broken, you can consider buying GBP USD. I hope you are following. Euro USD, let's see what we have. Let's see. What we have here indicates that we have more sellers than buyers. Bears are still in control. See, the pattern we have here is similar to what we have on GBP USD. That's because both currency pairs are positively correlated. They are positively correlated. Okay, so what do we have here? Monthly confirms bearish trend. Okay, confirms that the trend is bearish. So on the monthly, the next support, this is the next support. And we have relative equal low at this level. So this could be the next target for Euro USD. And we had a resistance on support at this level. Okay, so this could be the next target for Euro USD. We cannot buy Euro USD with what we're seeing on the monthly time frame. We cannot jump in and buy at the moment. The bears are still in control. Let's go down to weekly. Okay, last week candle closed as inverted hammer, bearish inverted hammer. So before you consider buying, you have to wait for Monday candle or weekly candle to close bullish before you consider buying. Okay, you have to wait for the weekly or daily candle to close bullish before you consider buying Euro USD. Look at the chart, you see we had a resistance here, and we had a support here, which became a resistance. Market tested that zone last week, and there was a strong rejection. You can see there was a strong rejection from that level, indicating that the bears are still in control. So if they successfully push price below this support, you should expect more bearish move on Euro USD. I hope that is clear. And if you are considering buying, identify resistance on daily and 4-hour. Resistance on daily on 4-hour. So our first resistance, most recent resistance on daily will be this. This was a support, which has become a resistance, right? Because last Friday candle closed below this support. So it has become a resistance level. Let's go down to 4-hour. 4-hour, we had a support here, which I think has become a resistance. Okay. Last 4-hour candle closed below the 4-hour support. So this support has become a resistance. So if you are considering buying, wait for 4-hour candle to close above this zone. Wait for 4-hour candle to close above this zone before you consider buying. This is aggressive entry. Okay? This is aggressive entry. Normally, you would have waited for a candle to close above this zone before you consider buying. Okay? So sell below this zone, buy above this zone. And if you are buying above this zone, your stop loss should be at this level. If you are buying above this zone, your stop loss should be at this level or a few pips below this resistance, which will become a support if a candle closes above this zone. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Which other pair? USD, New Zealand USD, USD CHF, USD card. Okay, we look at USD card. Let's look at USD CHF. The last pair will be JPY. Let's start with the monthly. So you can see on the monthly time frame, this is a bullish setup. See, this is a bullish setup. We had a previous support here, which has become a resistance. And we had support here. Okay. And the current month candle is trading above this support stone resistance. Let's go to weekly to see it clearly. can see last week candle closed above this zone, indicating that we have more buyers than sellers. You can see that. So USD CHF is bullish. Monthly, bullish. Weekly is bullish. Let's see what we have on daily. You can see also break from a resistance on daily. You can see monthly is bullish. Weekly is bullish. Daily also is bullish. Let's go to 4-hour. 4-hour also is bullish. The resistance was broken here. It has become a support. You can see market tested this. After the breakout from this resistance, there was a pullback to that resistance, which has become a support. Break and retest. That's what played out here. Okay. So personally, I would buy USD CHF above this zone. If a 4-hour candle successfully breaks out from this zone, I would buy USD CHF. And if I'm buying above this zone, my stop loss would be around this zone, either this level or this level, depending on how far the candle closes above this zone. That's what will determine where I will set my stop loss. As you know, I don't risk more than 40, 50 pips on any trade I execute. Okay, so buy above this zone, and I want to risk selling below this zone, this support zone. If you want to sell, wait for 4-hour candle to close below this zone before you sell. And if you are selling, target this next support. I hope that is clear. That's my take on USD CHF. Okay, the last pair will be USD JPY. So let's start with the monthly. What can you see here? What can you see? Resistance, it's on support, right? The strong indication that USD JPY is bullish on the monthly time frame. Let's go down to weekly. On the weekly also, last week candle closed as a doji, and doji indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. But before we execute a sell trade, we have to wait for the next daily candle or weekly candle to close bearish before we execute a sell trade. So we can't just jump in and start selling. Monthly is bullish, okay? So we can't just jump in and start selling. So USD is bullish. It is bullish at the moment. So what we need to do here now is to go down to lower time frame to identify support and resistance. Okay, like I said, if you go by the monthly, the trend is bullish. So if you want to execute a buy trade, you should wait for price to break the resistance. Okay, and if you're looking for sell opportunity, wait for price to break the support. Okay, so we have a support on a weekly. You can see market tested this support and there was a strong rejection from that support. Let's go down to daily. On daily, we need to identify our support and resistance. These are resistance on daily. We had a support here on daily. This is a support on daily. Okay. This is a support on daily. Let's go down to 4-hour. On 4 hour, we have a support here. We can work with this resistance turn support. Okay, resistance turn support. Then on 4 hour, we had our resistance here. Okay, you can see that USD JPY has been in a range from this point. It has been in a range. So you can't just jump in to buy now or sell. Okay, so there has to be a breakout from a resistance or a support. Okay, there has to be a break from a resistance or support. So if I would sell USD JPY, a candle must close below this support. That's when I'll consider selling USD JPY. If a candle breaks out from this resistance, I will consider buying USD JPY because DXY is bullish. USD is still showing strength. Okay, momentum on USD is still very strong. It's still very strong. So that's my take on USD JPY. Okay, let me take your questions. If you have questions, please raise your hand up so that I can unmute you. Do you have any question? No question. Can we end tonight's session? No question. Mr. Ebenezer, do you have any question? Can you all hear me? Mr. Ebenezer, unmute your mic if you have any question. Okay, Mr. Makinwa. Unmute your mic, Mr. Makinwa.
Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Actually, I don't have any question. Just to tell you there is none.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Godwin, do you have any question? GBP CHF, Euro GBP. Okay, we'll look at that. GBP CHF, Euro GBP. So let's start the monthly. For some months now, GBP CHF has been in a range. It has been in a range. So on the monthly, we can identify support, and we can also identify the resistance. Okay. So if this support is broken, you should expect more bearish move on GBP CHF. And if this resistance zone is broken, expect more bullish move on GBP CHF. Okay, that's my take on GBP CHF. If you buy above this zone, sell below this zone. Let's see what we have on the weekly time frame. See, it has been in a range for some time. So that's it on GBP CHF. Buy above. If this resistance is broken, buy. Support is broken, sell. I can't say it's bullish or bearish at the moment. It is neither bullish nor bearish. You can see it on daily. You can see that has been in a range since October 14th. Since October 14th, 2022. It has been in a range. Let's see what we have on 4 hour. Let's see. Okay, so on 4 hour, you could also identify resistance here, because waiting for resistance on monthly to break, it will take time. So if you don't want to wait for the monthly resistance to be broken before you execute buy, you could work with a resistance on 4 hour. Okay, buy above this zone, sell below this zone. I hope that is clear. You could sell below this zone, buy above this zone. That's my take on. Then the monthly resistance levels could be your target, your profit target. And if you are selling below the 4 hour support, the weekly and the monthly support levels could be your take profits. I hope that is clear. Euro GBP. What can you see on Euro GBP? I don't know what to say on this pair. I don't know what to say. This is monthly. You can see since 2016, this pair has been in a range. This pair has been in a range. I held those who trade Euro GBP with this price action that I'm seeing on this chart. It is obvious that this chart will be a difficult. This pair is a difficult pair. Just by looking at the candlestick formation, you would see that it's a difficult pair. But some people still make money trading Euro GBP. Let's go to weekly and see what we have on the weekly. You can see this chart is price action is choppy on Euro GBP. You can see that's because both currencies are strong currencies. Euro and GBP, they are strong currencies. They are strong currencies. What most people use Euro GBP for is to know which currency pair will be volatile, which amongst GBP USD and Euro USD will be very volatile. That is what most people use Euro GBP for. For example, if Euro GBP is bearish, that tells you that GBP is stronger than Euro. So if you are trading GBP, it means that there's a probability that GBP USD will move faster than Euro USD. Do you get it? So when they look at Euro GBP and they see that GBP is stronger than Euro, they will go buy GBP USD instead of buying Euro USD. Yes, Euro USD is likely going to buy, but its movement won't be as fast as GBP USD. I hope you are following. Most people don't trade Euro GBP. They just use it to determine the strength of GBP against Euro. If Euro is stronger than GBP, that is, Euro GBP is bullish, Euro USD will be more volatile than GBP USD. Okay, let's go to daily, because I can't see anything on the monthly and the weekly time frame. So on daily, you can identify resistance, you can identify support, and last Friday candle closed as a spinning bottom, which indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. Okay, so we need to identify resistance on 4 hour. We can't just jump in and start buying. So this is our resistance on 4 hour. We also had a resistance on 4 hour. Let me see this. So you could wait for 4 hour candle to close above this zone before you buy Euro GBP. If 4-hour candle closes above the zone, there is a high probability that it will aim for this resistance zone. That's my take on. Then if you want to sell, you have this resistance on support. Okay, so you could consider selling below this zone. That's my take on Euro GBP. Buy above this zone. If you are buying above this zone, this next resistance level, I think we identified this level on daily time frame or weekly. This will be your target. And if you are selling below this zone, go to daily or weekly, identify the support. Okay, so we have the support here on daily. So this will be your target for sell. This will be your target for buy. That's my take on Euro GBP. As you can see, the markets, Euro GBP has been in a range for some time. So market will hit resistance, pull back to its support, back to resistance, then back to support. Okay, so that's it on Euro GBP. Any other question? I think that will be all for tonight's session. If there are no questions, Mr. Olusoya, do you have any question? Infinix Smart, do you have any question? Ask your question if you have any. Chief Osas, do you have any question? Let me unmute everyone.
Hello, good evening, sir.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, I want to ask. Should I just
I can't
stay
hear you.
on 4 hours and enter, set my stop loss? I shouldn't bother going to 15 minutes.
Please repeat your question. Repeat your question.
For entry,
okay.
Should I just stay on 4 hours? When I say the candle close on 4 hours, I enter, set my stop loss on 4 hours. I shouldn't bother going to.
If you are new to trading, if you are a beginner, stick to the 4-hour time frame. Your entry should be based on 4-hour candle as a beginner. Okay, if you are trading breakouts from support and resistance, always use the 4-hour candle. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, when 4-hour closes below a support, can you hear me? When a 4-hour candle closes, let's say above a resistance, if the close of the candle is far above the resistance level, let's say 30, 40 pips above the resistance level, wait for a retest, wait for a pullback to that resistance that has become a support. Wait for a pullback before you buy. Is that clear? But if the breakout is just like 10, 15 pips above the resistance, you could enter buy, you could execute a buy trade. But if it is far, let's say 30, 40 pips above that resistance level, don't jump in. Wait for a pullback before you buy.
Okay, sir.
Okay? If you don't want to wait for the pullback, you can go in with small lot size. Let's say you trade with 0.05. You can go in with 0.01 or 0.02. When price now pulls back to the resistance which has become a support, you can now go in with the remaining 0.03 lot size.
Okay, sir.
I hope that is clear.
Yes.
Any other question? If you have any question, just unmute your mic. ask questions. So, Said. Chief Said, do you have any question? Voila. I can't hear you. Seems your network is bad. Seems your network is bad. That will be all for tonight's session. I appreciate you all for showing up in tonight's session. Like I've always encouraged you guys, never give up in trading. Never give up in trading. I know many of you are encountering difficulty, challenges. You are still incurring losses in trading. Don't give up. Those losses should make you stronger. Okay? Those losses should make you stronger. Trust me, all the money you've lost in trading, by the time you get it, it will only take you a few months for you to recover all that you have lost in trading. Never give up. Never give up. There's a lot of opportunities that is available for a profitable trader. If you're a profitable trader, there are lots of opportunities. Never give up. No matter the challenges, never give up. Most importantly, keep learning. Keep learning. Keep learning. If you make losses after the close of the market, do a review. Okay, do a review of the trade. Did you follow your plan? Okay, did you follow your plan? If you followed your plan, what happened? It could be that a major news was released. That's why the market didn't go in your direction. Keep learning, okay? Keep learning. Let your losses make you a better trader. It shouldn't make you give up in trading. We all have experienced losses. We all experience losses. There is no profitable trader that didn't experience losses when he or she started trading. Okay? But today, they are making thousands of dollars on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. As they say, now give up, now fuck up. Okay? Never forget the reason you embarked on this journey. The goal is financial freedom. Is financial freedom. The world system doesn't want you to be free financially. That's the truth. They don't want you to be free financially. So you've got to fight. It's a warfare. Do everything possible to escape the rat race, to attain financial freedom. It's a sacrifice you have to make for yourself and for your family. Do everything. Okay? Make the sacrifice so that you set your family, your loved ones from poverty. Okay? I wish you all a profitable trading week. If you have any questions, you have my WhatsApp number. Drop it on WhatsApp. I will attend to it. Good night.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the wonderful class.
Okay, sir.
Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. That is the essence for this class. We come here, we encourage ourselves.
Welcome, sir.
We all win this race. Yeah.
Never give up. Never give up.
Never give up. Never give up. Okay.
Abby, never give up.
Never give up.
Please, tonight
your network, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Drop me a message on WhatsApp. I can't hear you. Your network is fluctuating. Drop me a message on WhatsApp or do me a WhatsApp call. Do me a WhatsApp call. I can't hear you. Drop me a message, please.
Okay, sir.